All right, hello everyone, and welcome to our news and notes video for the 22nd of July. All right, we're counting down. I believe it's now 80 or 79 days left until the start of the season, so we're almost there. Well, I don't know about almost, but we're getting closer. All right, let us go through things. We got a busy board here, and so I'm not going to linger too long on any one thing, but I do want to touch on some things. Now, Topeka, at the end of the last week, they made a post saying big announcement coming this next week, and that announcement is the launch of their merch store. So you can now go to the Topeka Pro Hockey Facebook page. There's a link there, and go and shop some merch. There's not a lot there yet, but more stuff is going to be added. They have partnered with Reliant Apparel. That is their apparel provider. So, good relationship there. And check it out. All right, the Indiana, I almost said Pacers. I don't even like basketball. The Indiana Sentinels are having their free agent camp this weekend. Yep, hard to believe, but yep, they're having a camp this weekend, Friday through Sunday. All the information is on the Sentinels Facebook page. You can go there and check it out. Let's see. The Prowlers, yep, they have their press conference coming tomorrow, 11 o'clock. And they teased on Tuesday, or on Monday rather, they have a special guest that's going to be coming in. So I am not sure if that's a player or a coach or who knows? Maybe it's a service animal, Matt Graham's service animal. I don't know. Anyway, so make sure to tune in for that. That will be live streamed on the PHP Network YouTube page. So you can either type in Port Huron Prowlers or type in PHP Network. It'll come up for you. All right, still a lot of people talking about AJ Gallant getting hired as the GM of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Now, what a lot of people forget is that he was a part of the front office this past season. He was a special advisor to then GM Matt Voidy. So it's not really that big of a stretch for him to move into the GM role. He was already kind of working in that capacity as an advisor, and don't forget, yeah, even though he was just a kid back then, he was the GM for the Danbury Trashers. He was making the roster decisions and the signings and all that kind of stuff. So he has experience. He knows what he's doing. It's quite a polarizing signing with Jesse Swanson. I gotta say something about Jesse Swanson here. I said it on a Facebook post, but this is my opinion of Jesse Swanson. Okay, yes, the goal here is for him to bring the muscle, but I feel like Swanson could be so much more. He was quite a prolific scorer in juniors. I feel like he's kind of gotten typecast a bit in the Fed. I feel like if he were allowed to participate more in the offensive flow of the game, he could develop into a very good power forward type of player. And will he be given that freedom? Well, that's up to Danbury. That's their choice, their decision to make. But I'm just kind of putting my voice out there and just saying, Swanson had a lot more to offer than just physical presence. I'm not saying that he should abandon that. I think that would be a mistake. I think he needs to maintain a physical presence, but I just feel like he could be more. So anyway, just putting that out there. Okay, on to the PD Ice Cats. And a couple of announcements today. First one is, actually it was the second one. We'll start with the second one. The second one was that they have hired their media director, their media relations guy, play-by-play broadcaster. That is Danny DeBach. And for those of you who might think, well, that name sounds familiar, yeah, he's been around. He last worked as far as calling hockey games a couple years ago, 2 seasons ago, with the Corpus Christi Ice Rays. He's worked with many different colleges out in Washington State. He was even a reporter for the Seattle Kraken. Worked in conjunction with them, not calling games, but doing reporting on the Kraken. So the guy has experience. He has over 10 years of experience as far as being behind the microphone, calling games for basketball, baseball, football, and hockey. So there we go. So Danny DeBach, welcome to the Fed. Welcome to PD. Also, welcome to PD for the a pair of players, Patrick's and Dominic's Marcinkevics. Both of them signed by the Ice Cats. Now, they both played in the ECHL. First part of the year, they both were teammates on the Atlanta Gladiators. And then one moved to Reading. One moved to Reading, and one played, I didn't write it down. Anyway, a couple different teams, but they spent the most of the year in the ECHL. Now, Patrick's also played 7 games with the Macon Mayhem in the SP. So, as a matter of fact, I remember seeing his jersey being offered up on Dash just last week. So there's the signings there. I forgot to mention, because I skipped over it, because my notes are all askew here. I've got things scribbled like crazy. Port Huron signed their goaltending duo, both of them, Valtteri Nusiainen and Reed Cooper. I think that those two probably were the best goaltenders that the Prowlers have had in a very long time. They shared the net. We'll see what kind of split they're given as far as how many games one plays and compared to the other. But both Cooper and Nusiainen coming back to the Prowlers, and that instantly helps solidify their position as a contender this year. In my opinion, I really think if you watch this last Saturday's video where I was talking about all the goaltenders, I really feel like the second best tandem in the league was Valtteri Nusiainen and Reed Cooper, behind Cavallari and Babbitt in Carolina. So this is very good news for the Prowlers. All right, big trade today between the Biloxi Breakers and the Carolina Thunderbirds, not Thundercats. I was talking about cats earlier. Now this is the Thunderbirds. Excuse me. All right, it's been a rough day. Okay, so going to Biloxi is Vladislav Pavlov. Played most of the year with Carolina this last year. And going to Carolina, Don Carter Jr. and Ed Coffey, goaltender Ed Coffey. I'm a little surprised that Coffey was part of the deal. Now there are 4 goaltenders on the roster for Carolina right now. They have Cavallari, they have Babbitt, they have Chad Purdy, and now they have Ed Coffey. So it's going to be real interesting in camp, unless a move is made between now and then. But anyway, so this move was made. In the meantime, over the last few days, Biloxi has signed some of their core players. Camden Winters, big man, 6'6", 20-year-old defenseman. He's coming in. Goaltender Garrett Johnson, going to be contending for that backup spot behind Eloi Bouchard. You have defenseman Dominic Matinick, and then in the early evening Monday, also signed was Blake Keller. So Keller is coming back. He was on the Seawolves squad last year, scored 21 points, and really overall was one of the more energetic players, I think, on the Seawolves squad. And so we'll see if he can kind of transfer that energy to Biloxi and also kind of better develop his game. All right, one other signing to note, it was on Friday. The Binghamton Black Bears signed for Cam Clark. He was a good depth forward for the team last year. Kind of alternated between the second and third line. So Binghamton has another returnee. All right, we're going to talk about podcasts for a minute. First of all, talk about my own, or video, maybe not podcast, but I did a lot of research over the last couple of days. I kind of ended up going down a bunny hole and kind of looking at the budding relationship which is starting to take place between the FPHL and the Senior A, more so the APHL, the American Premier Hockey League, than the other two. But it's a big business suddenly, Senior A hockey, which would kind of be a step below the Fed. The objective stated with the APHL and the MIHL is to help develop players, get them, kind of help them bridge the gap between juniors or college and pro, because of course this is semi-pro. The objective is to help move them up to the FPHL, maybe even the SPHL, or who knows what happens. But anyway, it's becoming a very crowded field. The APHL has 11 teams right now, and I believe they're going to be adding at least one more team before the season starts, maybe a couple. The MIHL has doubled in size from last year. Last year they were 4 teams. This year they are 8. They have teams around the Metro Detroit area, one near Grand Rapids. They have Muskegon, and then there's 3 teams way up at the top of the lower peninsula. Well, not exactly. St. Ignace is actually just over the Mackinac Bridge, up in the upper peninsula. So yeah, 8 teams there. And then there's also the PPSHL, which is the Power Play Senior Hockey League. Now, as of right now, they have 4 teams, all in Massachusetts. Their goal is to try to expand to several different regions. They want to expand to the Southeast. They want to have a Mid-Atlantic division. They have one possible team out in Wisconsin that wants to join. So yeah, a lot of jostling, a lot of competition, and especially in the state of Michigan, there are the 8 MIHL teams, and there are also 3 teams in the APHL there. So, yeah, it's big business. It's going to be a very interesting competition to see who gets to play where, and are they going to last? All that kind of stuff. We'll see. But anyway, I'm going to be talking about this because I think it's important for us to recognize that, yes, the FPHL is sandwiched between the SPHL and now all these senior A leagues, but there are affiliations being formed between the APHL and some Fed clubs, and that seems to be the trend right now. So I want to kind of introduce you to Senior A, to the leagues, and their history. It's not a very long history. I think the MIHL is in their 8th season, APHL is in their 3rd, the PPSHL is going into their 2nd year. So I hope you will tune in for that, because I think it's important to kind of see, where are some players coming from that are coming into the Fed. All right, the other podcast I want to mention, of course, tomorrow is the premiere of FPHL Behind the Glass, done by Swan Hockey. That is Kevin Swanick, the official podcast of the FPHL. He's got an episode planned for every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I will be tuning in, listening, and seeing what I think, and I invite you to do the same, and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the podcast. All right, so that's all covered here, and we went a little bit longer for news and notes, but it was a lot to cover. All right, Thursday we'll be back on the Flash Audio Network with an update, news between now and then. And then, of course, Saturday we'll have this video coming up. So, thank you for following me. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Make sure to follow me on Facebook. Most important place. Make sure you have liked or followed the Fed League Flash Facebook page. All right, I'm Gary Ryan, and I wish you all a good rest of the week, and we'll see you again very soon.